Hearts on the wall, coffee gone cold, finger on the trigger, heart runs bold. Tick tock tick, red turns green. Is this that flip or the start of a scene? Every candle feels like a question. Every heartbeat bets on direction. I'm caught in the curve of the line, right on the edge of the sign. Oh, turn or trend, they both bend, riding that swing till the very last. Stand up and down, again, again. Are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both bend. I can feel it in the air like wind blow right through. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend, screen glow bright, midnight dance. One more move, one more chance. Stop lost tight, but my hope runs wide. Do I bail right now or let this ride? Every signal talks like it knows me. Every move could crown me or ghost me. I'm tracing the arc in my mind, chasing the shape I can't find. Hey, turn or trend, they both bend, riding that swing till the very last. Stand up and down, again, again. Are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both bend. I can feel it in the air like wind blow right through. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend, spin that doubt, round and round. Hear that hush. The screen's glowing, it's 3 a.m. Charts are moving, I'm chasing them. Candle whispers, they speak in flames. Risk is the devil, but I play his game. Quick moves, no time to cry. It's scab or die, it's scab or die. Scab or die. I'm living on the edge. Every tick, every breath I take. Scab or die, the thrills my high. Win or lose, I kiss the
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. What a down day today, man. It's a one-way market to 23,500 as we're speaking. I think probably this is the picture that sums up everything. I want to show this to you. I put this on my, you know what? I'm going to close this up. I had a bad execution in that trade. Hope you guys are having a good day. I am. We're running all of the accounts through the 26s. Hopefully, we'll keep going. I'm actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to run the 65 account with you today because I'm going to show you something very interesting that Claude and I have been having a conversation with that I think a lot of people are really going to like. But look what's going on here today. This is the insanity of the day today. And this is why we're down. I mean, I think this is the picture that pretty much says it all. This is the reason why we're down today. Strait of Hormuz, container ship, Iranians blew it up. Oman Navy had to rescue the crew there, and this is what we're up against, and it feels like we're gonna have to take the whole straight if this is going to be resolved. But obviously, this is putting a huge amount of pressure. This kind of a visceral image going across the screens of everybody in the world is really the single biggest reason why everything gets pressed down. So hopefully you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, whose ship? I don't know. I think Malaysia. It doesn't really matter whose ship. It's a merchant marine ship. That's all that matters, and it's an act of terror. And that's what's going on. So we're basically in a war to the death here. Question is, do we have the stomach for it? So we'll see. I'll be right back, guys. I forgot to get some water. Just hang out. We got about 15, 20 minutes to the open. I have a really interesting ideas for you to trade with. It's Ask Me Anything Friday, usually the most creative day of the week when we try to do some interesting creative ideas with dots. I'm going to talk a lot about some thoughts I have right now of how I want to run all of this. And we're going to run, I think, all the trades today through this one account that doesn't have a 26,000 in it. It's just basically sort of at the beginning of the funding stage. And let's see what I can do with the trading pattern that I want to show you in just 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me just a second. I want to go get some water. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm back. I got my waters. Don't forget, of course, everybody, tomorrow is the ORB webinar. Anybody who want the link? We already have over 700 people signed up, but I want to see everybody here. And the thing is, I'm putting the link in right now. You don't need to attend the webinar to get all of my information, but you do need to register because otherwise I can't mail it to you. So I need you to register so that we can put you on a list and mail you all the information that I'm going to have about opening range break. Of course, opening range break in days like today is like taking candy from a baby. There really only was like one trade because it just blew up. Look at London. So London basically opens up in a relatively tight range, by the way. Actually, this is Asia. London opens up, and then it just we blow through the through the lows, and we never ever even see the lows of the range. It just becomes a one-way trade the whole day long. If you were trading this from 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, as I was, we are deep under the VWAP. Actually, just running fresh lows. So let me see if I can actually hang on. Let me see if I can pull this little thing here. Just 1 second. Bear with me. I want to just I want to extract this one. Sorry, I'm just looking for this one table that. Okay, here we go. Right. Okay. Let me see if I can do this for you. Okay, I'm going to put this on the chart. This is it going to go on the chart? I don't know if I can do this. If it's big enough. No. Yeah, it is big enough, actually. You guys can see this on the chart, right? Everybody sees this on the chart? This is a very, very simple, but really interesting. This is like a result of a very long conversation that I had with Claude today about various tactical ideas of how I'm trading. Now, I'm just going to just explain to you what I'm doing, how I'm trading, and what's going on with my structure. And you guys feel free to adjust and apply to your own ideas of how you trade. Hang on, let me just make sure I get. Why am I like trying to get myself into? There we go. I'm trying to get the. Make sure you guys see me on the camera. Come on. There we go. All right, you guys see me on the camera? Good. Okay. So assume the following strategy that I'm doing. Don't, question me on it. This is my strategy. It doesn't have to be yours, but just assume this is what I'm running. I'm running 10 target, 30 stop. So $20 win, $60 loss on one micro contract. And assume that I'm going to take every dot signal, especially even better, let's just say I'm certainly going to take every dot trend signal. So if I get we're downtrend, so every red, let's say I take a red dot trade, I make it, great. I wait for the next one, I take it, I make it, great, so on and so forth. Let's just assume a very, very simple dot-driven, trend-based structure with a 3-to-1 ratio, right? So pure momentum, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Let's just put everything else aside. Let's put aside, point of control trades, reversal trades. Let's just stay very, very clean and simple to momentum and trend, just for argument's sake. And maybe if we get a counter trend move, we trade the counter trend moves too. As long as we have the dots in one direction, we trade them and keep going, right? So if I was trading, the traditional way, which is like, let's say, martingale way, I have a negative risk reward, but then I try to recover my losses by doubling my position. Let's say my sequence is lose 1, go 2x, lose that, go 3x. Sort of not fully geometric, rather than exponential increases, right? So not really, really enormous, but still big enough that it could really hurt you if I am losing a lot of money. So in the traditional way, I don't know if you guys can see this well because I'm kind of like, here it is. In the traditional martingale way that I do, and I have 3 straight wins, I win $60. I have 3 straight losses, I have $360 worth of losses, right? So you see the mathematics, right? Because I have a negative risk reward ratio and I'm scaling up on size, trying to recover my positions. This is my ratios, right? Now, assume same risk reward strategy, but just a little bit different tactics. I win 1, great. The next trade, I go 2x. So after a win, I go 2x. I win again, great. Now I go 3x, right? So I give myself up to 3 times for 3 consecutive wins, right? What's my ratio? Oh, and if I lose, I go back. If I lose, I go back to 1x, right? So look at the ratio of 3 straight losses, 3 straight wins in the reverse martingale. I win 120 against a 180 loss. Versus, oh shit, I have a trade here that I just missed. Versus I have a $60 win against a 360 loss, right? Very, very difficult to come back from this. Pretty much even money on a very negative skewed position. Fuck, I just missed this trade. This was a really good trade. I was totally down for this. Okay, so I'm going to try and trade this one account reverse martingale. There's a lot of pitfalls in it. It means that your first sequence losses could all be lost in your second chance because you're going to double up your position. It means lots of one step forward, 2 steps backwards kind of dynamic. But if you're already used to that kind of nature and you understand that, you could have, this is so fucking obvious right now. Sorry, guys. I'm just annoyed because this was a really, really easy sequence of buys. But it's okay. We'll have plenty of opportunities to trade that. Where this strategy really, really shines is especially in markets like today, where you have lots and lots of sequential wins and sequential losses, right? Sequential wins. Sorry, that's what I mean. Lots and lots of sequential movements, lots of continuous red dots or lots of continuous white dots, right? So this is the Vince trade in my own, in a way that I can do it, astrologer, okay? I am effectively adding to position, but not in the position. Like, it's very hard for me when I'm in the middle of a trade to add to a trade, but I can add sequentially. So that's kind of like a modified Vince trade for me. I'm just going to just sort of try to show it to you today. See how it played out. Because Friday is always the day of experimentation. So for me, if you're sort of like my personality, where it's very, very hard for you intra trade to add to winners, this is a sort of a sequential trade structure where you know ahead of time, what size you're taking, how you're managing, so on and so forth. Hey, Miguel, how are you? Good to see you. So that's kind of where we stand, okay? Right now, we are in a buy sequence. What we're going to do is we're going to differentiate the market into sell sequences and buy sequences, which is basically nothing more than, red slope, green slope. We're now in a buy sequence, which means every sequential trade. Let's go do this. We're going to buy this. I'm going to start at 1x cycle. I'm very, very late. I don't even know if this is going to be good. I should have started at this. This should have been my 1x cycle. This should have been my 2x cycle. And then I finish up with a 3x cycle. But I'm late because, I'm yapping and I'm showing. But we're still very much in a buy sequence. So I'm gonna stay buy dot biased until I'm proven wrong and the sequence changes. Okay. I think maybe this would be a little bit more palatable to you, astrologer. I don't know. I'm going to show this to you guys. I have no idea. As you can see, I'm already executing it poorly because I'm yapping, but it doesn't matter. We the only way to learn something is to practice it. So we're going to try to practice this idea because tactically, this is for the kind of trading that I do, which is short, high probability, very defined risk. This type of tactics are the optimal mathematical tactics for our structure. The other thing I want to do here is obviously I'm going to take this because, again, execution. Oh, come on, because I was late on the execution. The key to doing this really, really well is to really hone in on execution, and make sure that you're doing it correctly. Like, the way to have done this is sequence 1, in at 98, out at 08, right? Sequence 2 would have been in at 13, out at 23, at 2 times. And then if you have the opportunity, you could have sequence 3, which is in and out on the 3rd time if you get the dot. But we would need a 3rd dot to have this. And as I said, where this works best is when you have like a 45, 50-minute string of sequence, unit sequence, where you have like only reds or only greens for 30, 45 minutes. And that really provides the perfect mathematics for you to go 3 large. And then basically you take $60 worth of profits and turn them into, $120 worth of profits. You basically double your profits on the same set of trades. Hey, Martin, how are you? So, we came down obviously to 600. Now we're going to see probably maybe run it back up. I still think the markets are very, very negative biased. These green legs are short and contra trend indicative. But even within the short legs, if you have 3 consecutive sequences, you have really done a great job of capturing the P&L. Also, hopefully, will give us a little bit more trades throughout the day because we only need the dots to align. We don't really necessarily, context is important, but we're not, we're essentially looking for streaks. We want to try to trade streaks. That's really what it comes down to. And be fully prepared to have some cold streaks. So that's the whole point. 1, 2, 3, just 1, 2, 3, geometric, not exponential. It makes a big difference. Just, if you go 4 large and blow it up, it has a big, it has obviously positive skew exponentially, but it also has a negative skew exponentially. So 1, 2, 3 is levered enough, in my opinion. Now, the other cool thing, this is the other cool thing we're going to do, is let's imagine, here's what happens. We get a red dot right now, right? And then we're in a trade, and the trade hasn't stopped us out, and then we get a green dot. So instead of reversing that account, instead of just simply, churning that account up and down, we're going to open the green dot, or the opposite side dot in a different account and manage it that way. So because we have multiple accounts, this is the beauty of having multiple accounts. We can manage the sequence individually per account. That's going to give us a lot more flexibility. We don't have to burn and churn. We don't have to we avoid whipsaw risk by letting each trade mature to its natural conclusion. Okay? Everybody clear on that? Good morning, Friday. Where's everybody? Say hello to me. There's a lot of people in the room today. Nice to see you guys. Hello, guys. Hello, hello, hello. Whoever's new, say hi to us. I'm doing a webinar this Saturday. If you guys want to attend, the link is up here. Actually, you know what? Let me put that link as a. Oh, hang on a second. I gotta switch my accounts. Okay. Let me put that link in again, and then I'll pin it. Bloomfield, New Jersey. How are you? Okay. 5 minutes to the open. So I'm going to not take this run, tempted as I am, because we're going to really stick to our rules of let's not run in front of a train. Also, the green dot disappears. I'm going to hang with you guys if I can to 11 today, right? I have a meeting at 11. I think 11 or maybe even 11:30. I have a meeting. I don't have anything till 11, so I kind of want to hang, and hopefully, the 10 to 11 hour, which a lot of times we get to have the full benefit on, should be really, really good. Tomorrow's 7th. It's about an hour, basically an hour, maybe an hour, 15 minutes. I'm not going to torture you too long. But yeah, it's really going to be a lot of fun. Four minutes to the open. Sub 600 was our support in the London session. I think Asia session highs are all the way up to 900. So we've got about a 300 point range. It's like a Mount Everest of a climb here today. Anything can happen. Trump can come out and say, "Hey, war is over. We negotiated peace." Blah blah blah. We could have a 300 point vertical. But I think at this point, if you're a betting man, you got to. I think we're waiting for the 82nd Airborne and a whole bunch of control. The one great thing about sort of today's price action, very wide open, nice clean moves, not too much volatility. So we're getting a lot of good, clean follow through signals. Yeah, that spike was on the fact that Trump announced that there was going to be a 10-day delay in fighting. So that was, that they took that for about 1 second as positive news and completely unwound it. Okay. We are 1 minute away from start. Yeah, it retraced basically within 2 minutes. That was the spike. That's kind of funny. All right. Definitely have a dot. Would have loved to have traded these, but I'm trying not to front run the open. Basis. Do you know what a basis point is? DRD. It's 1/100th of a percent. So basis point is just kind of a variation on the theme of a tick, and you can quantify what you want, like how much of a, instead of measuring volatility in ticks, you can measure it in basis points, because basis points normalize for every single instrument. So it's a normalization tool. 5 basis points is in volatility in gold is the same as 5 basis points volatility in NASDAQ. It's just very different point wise. Like in gold, it may be $5. In NASDAQ, it could be $500. I'm just giving extreme examples, but they're basically done that way. All right, we're at New York session low to New York session high. Big spike to big spike down. No surprise that we have lots of vol. But for now, we are. What did I call it? I already forgot what I called this. We're gonna trade. Positive slices, negative slices. What did I actually? I forgot. I had like a good name for what we're going to call the green dot sequence, or positive sequence, I guess, the green sequence. Anyways, we give it a minute. Green dots dominating. The trade is to the green side. New York session low down here. If we follow astrologer, it is almost certain that New York is going to retest the London low, right? Whether it's going to be now or maybe 20 minutes from now. But this area, 23,580, basically underneath this 600, really beckons. So we should be mindful of that as we're trading. Okay, got a purple dot, which means we're switching to a legit red sequence. It's also, by the way, with trend. So I'm going to go short here. So, and we're done. Did I get done? Jesus, that was fast. That was super fast. Okay, that was in and out. That was 10 points in less than 1 second, which is fine. So now we wait, because now we want to look for the second trade. So we had first winning trade. Now we're going to go too large for the second winning trade. Second sequence. I still sell. Let's see if we can get the second sequence here. And we're done. So now, we got second sequence, right? Now one more time, big balls trade. Third sequence, if we get a red dot. Obviously, we're only triggering on red dots. This is the account I'm trading on the bottom here. Just kind of trying to isolate it. I think this is London session lows, right? Astrologer, we just broke the London session lows. New York session lows, London session lows. Sequence down. $14 seconds left. Market's still pressing to the downside. All right, do or die. I'm going to take this. I don't quite have the balls to go full three sequence, but now, so you just saw basically me take the account, into easy plus 100 in about 3 minutes with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 sizing, three winners in a row, right? Now I go right back to single size. I should have had the balls to hold 3, but that was it. Now we're going to see, if there's any reversal or continuation in the trade. At this point, one of the reasons I actually really like this is because I really like the sort of I think there's a max. I think the highest probability dot sequence is basically 3 to 4, right? And once you get to 5, 6 dots continuity, the probability of reversal pretty strong. Although in long trends, sometimes you can have 8, 9 dots running. But sort of betting 1, 2, 3 sequentially like this, yes. If you lose, you go back to 1 unit. Correct. Yeah, good job. Astrologer made some money. Sabra made some money. Hi, Bella. Good morning. Nice to see you. I mean, my vibe is that we're probably going to press the 500 before we bounce. But, I'm going to just let this breathe a little bit and see what it wants to do. TNL made 113. Nice. Did any of you guys scale up, like go 1 size, 2 size, 3 size, or just once? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an account that is trading shorts, which is basically trend, an account that's trading longs, which is going to be counter trend, right? So obviously we have a big pop here. Let's go. I'm going to counter trend this, I don't know, against the 47 account, that's fine. So this is the 47. The 47 account is going to be the buy account, and that one got done very, very quickly. And the reason why that got done very quickly on the contra trade is because we had so much selling. We have what's called a point of control sale where we took out the lowest high, and the short covering was just very, very clean and clear. These are very clean, easy scalps to make. Boom, we took it. That's it. So having two designated accounts makes it easy to know, if we have a short signal, we take it here. We have a long signal, we have to take it there. And then the sizing is a function of whether you're winning or losing, with those two things. But overall, we're in today is a very favorable environment for the kind of trading we do, because there's a lot of angularity. Basically, the slope of movement is very steep, which means that as long as we jump on the pony, as long as we ride the horse, it's going to take us to our destination. Nobody, there's no just sort of ambling two-way price action. It's very definitive, either buys or sells, right? Which is like the perfect kind of price action for us. Here was the test of London. London is in blue. New York is in green. And, we're trying to consolidate. Is it likely that we're probably going to extend, maybe go to 23,500? I think so. Big short covering squeeze off the bottom, but so far not holding. But I would not be surprised if they kind of ran this and then they run right through the highs, that they really squeeze the shorts now through the highs. We'll see. Today is like a nice wide-ranging day because, a lot of people want to deal, and there's a lot of two-way price action. And let's see if there's any. By the way, did you guys see that Twitter, man? It's really squeezing me. They went to $40 a month on the premium transcription. Really, really expensive. Trying to look at all the headlines here. All right, let's see if the red sequence resumes. So while we're kind of chilling out, it's Ask Me Anything Friday. Everybody free to just pop any question that comes into your mind. I'm happy to discuss, and I'll kick it off by basically let's talk about dot theory in its absolute core sense, because I think if you start to understand dot theory, a lot of the stuff will make a lot more sense to you. The basic principle operating idea behind dot theory is that momentum carries a message within itself. So putting it into basically human terms, let's say we have a red dot. What does this mean from a price action point of view? It means that the sellers were so convinced that things are going to go lower that they were willing to sell it and keep it below the low of the prior candle. This was sort of like the lowest low that things transacted, and they were willing to just transact below that and hold it below that. That there was no fear that they were going to, have movement against them. That's conviction expressed mathematically and graphically, right? And that is the essence of dot theory. The idea is that within the dot, there's a message for forward action. Does it work? Of course, it doesn't work all the time, but it's more accurate than noise. In other words, it's not 50%. Let's just for argument's sake, even if it was like 52%, that in itself would be statistically significant. It's obviously a lot more than that, I think. In other words, what are the chances that there's continuity if there's a dot? It's more than 50%, right? You could literally see it. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you were just sort of sampling it out, the probability becomes quite high. But that is the essence of dot theory and why they're so useful to us as tools against which you can construct trades, right? Does that make sense to everybody? There's no latest chart. We're redoing all of the wealth charts, and when they're ready, there'll be a version like this and a version like this. But until then, it's just sort of in archive. All right, white dot, which is the 47 account, right? This is the 47 account. So if this holds, 27 seconds left. Big candle, by the way. It's like the buyers are trying to really squeeze the sellers off the bottom. Run the session highs. 15 seconds left. Let's see what they want to do. If this holds, we will join the buyers, and if this wilts, we'll just stand by. 3, 2, 1. Boom. We're in. All right, we're in on the trade. It's a big trade. Could retrace against us, but we'll see if we can pick up the 10 points. There we go. Nice. Another 10 points picked up, and the buyers asserting a little bit of control. Guys, I've made a special web page for ORB. This is where I want you to just you can't. There's no point in me doing your settings. I want you to just simply put it to UTC 0. And if you're doing NASDAQ, it's Chicago settings. And if you're doing gold, it's New York settings. It's on that page. That's why I made you the page, okay? Just go there, go look at the page, and use those settings. Okay, so how much balls do we have? Do we go too large? I don't have the balls right now to do this, but it would have really worked. I'm sorry, I'm yapping. I'm supposed to really, really stick to the strategy, but it's hard. It's really hard for me to commit. But what we should have done is we should have committed 2 times to this for another 10-point move to the upside. I'm just having a hard time committing to counter trend moves in a very, very deep sell-off market, but that's probably the best time to commit to them. See, it would have worked. Gotta trust Claude, which I never do. Anybody trade that? on a 2x basis, because that would have been what? We came in at 34 and the high was, no, it didn't quite make it. The high, this is 34 on the close. The high was 41. That's why I was a little bit hesitant to do this. Okay. All right, guys. You waiting for shorts? I'm kind of waiting for shorts too. But you know what? It's like maybe waiting for Godot. It's the longs are winning right now, and had I trusted my longs, it would have we would have had a 2x win. I'm just but that's why we practice, right? It's like hitting tennis balls. You got to practice the forehand before you really master it. God, I was actually talking to Linda Raschke yesterday. We started reminiscing about tennis, and I stumbled across like some old film of McEnroe playing net. And I don't care what you say, there wasn't anybody in the history of tennis that is even remotely as creative and talented as he was at his peak. I mean, the guy handled the racket like nobody ever did. He did things with the racket that are just completely impossible for like straight up, classic tennis trading. You could say that Federer, I fully agree, Federer is probably the single greatest tennis player in the history of tennis in terms of technique, mental toughness, beauty of strokes, footwork, all of that. But genius, just unbridled genius, was McEnroe. Oh, we got the shorts. This is a big vol trade. So here's the thing that I'm going to honor myself to, which I'm not going to trade the vol candle. This is a candle that's a 40-point large candle, which means that if I come into the trade, it could retrace me out before I take the win. So there's plenty of opportunity. There are probably 20 candles an hour, 200 candles, 300 candles in a day, and we only need 10 of them to make our bones. So I don't need to select this, but I'm sure this is going to work. I'm almost certain that this trade is going to work. Not even close. Not even close. Pancho Gonzalez was great, but not even close. Because it's not just the stroke; it's the touch. Like the ability to just the guy you're slamming a cross court backhand at him, and the guy makes a drop shot volley. Like, do you even understand how impossible it is to create a drop shot volley off of a screaming passing shot? They used to call him asbestos hands. Okay, let's go sell this. I'm actually, I made the mistake. I'm talking here. You know what? I'm going to take this profit because I'm trying to have a buy account and a sell account. That should have been in the sell account. So we're now. Let me stop yapping and start focusing. We want to be, so the 65 is my sell account, right? This is my sell account. And, if I executed my plan perfectly, I would have been 1x here, 2x here, 3x there, but we're not quite there. So back to session lows, guys. As I said, I think we're going to try to probe that 23,500. Let's see what the buyers and sellers want to do. We'll wait for the next dot to appear. All right, we have a dot. Sorry, I got to be in the 65 account. Okay, we're done on sort of 1x structure. Ignore these ORB labels; they are pre-session labels, so they're not material in any way. We have a fresh New York session low, as I said. Um, I don't know how much more they want to pound this, but I think they clearly want to pound it to the 500 level. Yeah, U of Michigan. I guess we'll wait for U of Michigan before we do any more. I think U of Michigan is going to suck. Honestly, I'll be shocked because they're going to be able to sample. This is going to be the war sample. I just think the sentiment is really horrible out there. So that should be really interesting. Let's wait and see what U of M says. Yeah, it is a revision. It's not. Yeah, fresh session lows to the 500s. This is a tough trade because you know that there's going to be some buyers at this thing to pop it, and trying to sell this into the bottom is not a trade I like to do. But let's see how it plays out. The Moiching trade might be the buy side trade. If they flip it back through this 26 level, that would tell us that they kind of sold out for now. The down leg, counted leg, down leg, sold out. But we need to hold this point of control lever before we do anything. Breaking the 500. So had I sort of been really, really focused on my sequence, this would have been sell 1, 2x, and 3x. Had I just sort of followed it, and that's all you need. You got to get that, you get that sell sequence for a good even 20 minutes, and now you locked out a really, really nice P&L, in a reverse martingale manner. Now the reversal trade is the 09 level, which, by the way, we should go back. If we're going to be trading the long side, we'll trade at the 47 account, because we're going to gear ourselves to a reversal trade. We're going to just stay on the long side now. 9:58. 2 more minutes. Slope is dope. Yep. Slope is super, super sharp. Look how sharp the slope is. Okay. Setting up for a reversal trade. If we're through the 92s, which we are, 20 seconds left, might be a trade to the upside, but we gotta wait. We gotta wait till the candle closes. There's a classic probe underneath the 500 level. Nope. Look at that. See, it goes away. That's why you never commit. Oh, look at that flush. Wow, that was a big flush down. You guys see that? Holy shit. That was I guess that's the U of M number, whatever it printed. Yeah, final sentiment was much worse. Although inflation expectations were worse, but consumer final were much worse. I thought they would be, because the war sentiment is really negative. All right, we're popping through the through the flush. 12 seconds left. See if they can hold that level. It's really just wow, it's really moving. 3 seconds. Okay, we go. And we're almost there. Come on. Oh, so close. Nope. That was a big pop, but no go. I was gonna take quick profit off that move, but I wanted to be stubborn on my assessment. I'm almost certain going to eat this trade probably, because this is a huge mass vol candle that just missed my target and now is absolutely certain to retrace back down. That's just the nature of the volatility. There you go. I deserve to eat that. I should have just simply cleaned out on that candle, but it's fine. We'll find the next opportunity. There's going to be like 1,000 opportunities in the next 2 hours to retrade a lot of this stuff. But this was kind of a dumb thing. Look at this candle. It was 50. It was a $70 point candle. Shouldn't have traded that. All right, long on that against this point of control candle. Let's see if I get a little bit more extension to the upside as they start to short cover. Big wide ranging stuff. I'm always afraid of that's exactly what's going to happen, but I keep trying to press the trade. Really, really dumb. I'm going to eat another retrace now because this is just wide ranging retrace. Until the dot happens, there should be no trades. There's no dot here. It's just me trading the point of control break, which is not good enough in this really, really high volatility environment. I'm going to eat that. I'm going to eat that trade again. Because ORB is done off the dots, not off the actual lows. That's what creates, the variance. I'm going to get out of this trade because it's not a legitimate trade. I don't care. I'm going to wait for an actual dot, or this is going to collapse right back down. So let me refocus and just sort of patiently wait instead of trying to run these ideas. Here comes the dot. If that holds, that at least will give us legitimate sense that we can try and trade this trade. See, no dot. It's going to take a while. It's a lot of damage, technical, fundamental damage done to the market. Bulls, shorts are running the show right now. It's going to be very, very hard. You're just basically trying to get short covering happening. And a lot of two-way price action, and that's exactly what we want to avoid, right? That's why I just pulled the plug. Looking at the market, it's basically been huge. As they say in the South, lots of heat, little light, meaning a lot of movement, but very little direction. Wait, hold on. Is this the right one? What am I doing? It's Option H, right? Why isn't this doing it? Huh. Trying to put a horizontal line for some reason. It's not giving it to me. All right, we may be getting a sell signal here, which would be the 65 account. There we go. Let's see if it holds. No signal either way. Literally the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 minutes, no signals and no trades, which is the right thing to do. If you don't have the dots, you would have just completely churned your way, to oblivion. I churned my way a little bit, but I was, sensible enough to see that was getting that there was no traction, so I got out. No, they don't. They repaint intra candle, but they stay fixed at the end of the candle. Why am I like? What is this? Alt. Where's the Alt key? Alt H. There we go. I just couldn't get the control. So you see this? What I was trying to show you. We're basically zero movement. Tug of war. Move these out of the way, and then we'll reuse them if we need to. We are. Oh, where's the? Here's the highs and the lows. So we're like well below the opening range lows now. But it'll be interesting to see if they run this through to opening range highs. That's, I think, a total possibility here. Just no movement, right? Totally. Oh, bye. Sorry. I wasn't paying attention. God damn it. What is that? 16? That should be a 26. So I should just move this over. All right, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take it early. I got a bad execution on this trade. Okay, fine. We're gonna stay on the buy side here. And if this dot stays here, we're going to try to practice our 1, 2, 3 structure. All right. Long again here. Looking for the 10. All right, we eat that trade. We go back to one size. Completely not unexpected given the volatility, given this a contra trend trade. But I want to just sort of practice the sequence with you guys as much as possible, and to see where the dust lands. That's a tough trade because it's probably going to go right back to our highs. We just didn't have enough volatility. It's just too big. It took us out, but we'll see. I just realized one other component that we need to do. So, for example, this account was well past its $100 mark. Now it's a little bit less. What we should do with this kind of thing is, because this sequence can really take you to target very, very quickly. Once you get to target, you just simply rotate to the next account and try to work it off the next account. That would have been the smart thing. Most of these accounts are already beyond my $100 sequence, but it's fine. I'm gonna have to rework this back up to the $100 sequence. So we're gonna go right back up to one size here. 6, 7 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go long. All right, we're long here. Let's see if this is gonna hopefully give us just 1x size to target. That's painful. I'm literally missing it by like a point. Very painful. There we go. We finally get it done. Okay, now 20 seconds left. Second dot, 2 times size, right? If this holds, I'm going to try and stick to our sequence here. All right, back in, 2 dots. There we go. And you see how quickly, very, very quickly, I scaled up, right? Now for the big one, if you go to 3. Now, you know what? It might be time for a protein snack. I was going to say, actually, you know what? This is a pretty legit, this is a ORB down, right? This is completely separate from a dot straight. We are negative trend. We came back up and, coming back down through the ORB level. It doesn't hold, if it rallies, fine. If it doesn't, This is actually a sell. I should probably sell this. I'm in the wrong account. I should be in the 47. All right, let's see if we can do this. I'm going to sell this in the 47 account on one lot. As an ORB trade, not necessarily as a dot trade. Because it came back down to the lower ORB level. Let's see if it's an awkward thing because we're not falling from it. We rose through it and came back down, but it's within trend. So it really should be a legit trade. Let's just see if we can actually make the trade here. Yeah, and we make the trade. So sticking basically to all the rules. What I was going to say is trading this, kind of thinking about it, how, depending on how you guys are trading. Tell me how you guys are feeling, because I'll tell you how I'm feeling in terms of scaling up. I am actually pretty comfortable going 1, 2x. Like, I don't have a problem, doing 1x, 2x. Pressing 3x is really hard for me. I wonder if I may just simply create a more modified version that's more amenable to my my personality type. How are you guys feeling about the idea of pressing 3x? Yeah, you gotta know what where your strengths are. Yeah, it can be 3 micros or 3 A's. It's just, for me, I'm trading micros because I'm trading 25,000 accounts, so I'm trading the small ones. Yeah. It's less about what instrument you trade. It's more about sort of the multiplier effect. Who's who like is very comfortable doing 1x, 2x, 3x? Give me a show of hands in the room. And I think so that's my point, Ben. Like, I don't mind losing at 2x, but I get very pissed losing at 3x. Like, losing at 3x feels worse than winning at 3x. And I think that's the key thing. That's the key idea. All right, getting a second breakdown here. 16 seconds left. Legit trade for us on the short side. Are we short here? Let's see if it's going to work. And we're done. Good. Another good clean trade to the downside. But I think psychologically, this is why, I kind of traded with you in real time, because I want to, feel what am I thinking? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? I think the essence for me, and this could be very different for you, is it feels worse to lose at 3x than to win at 3. Like, the pain of losing that to me is feels worse than winning at 3x, and that's why I'm comfortable at 2x. I'm sort of emotionally neutral, By the way, look at this nice ORB trade: 1 down, 2 down. If you're trading ORBs, which I'm going to talk about, by the way, very much on Saturday, guys, very much. God, do I sound like Trump? Jesus Christ, I just sounded like Trump. Very much. It's the best. It's going to be the best strategy. It's the most beautiful strategy ever. Jesus Christ. What is going on with us? That was an interesting realization here. Okay, yeah, I think it's probably the truest thing, Ben. I totally agree. Love him or hate him, it's going to be the most boring thing to have him out of office. Why can't I get this? I want to show this to you guys. Why can't I grab this? What the fuck is going on here? Okay. Oh shit. What is it? Okay, here we go. Hang on, guys. Sorry, I wanted to show you I want to show you kind of the. Let's see if I can get this on the screen. Okay, so this is today's price action. You see, for all of the back and forth, this is pretty good. This is really nice, clean P&Ls. If you're trying to target 100, fine. I'm not 100, but at 50, first of all, I'm pretty much meeting all of the Apex minimums, 50 per day, blah blah blah, moving progress. We just started kind of doing this, so it's you can't really expect perfect results, but it's really really good, consistent results off of just running this stuff. So I think the idea is we're going to do 1x, 2x, and just hang tight. Maybe I won't press the 3x trades, but just trade 1 2 3 dots, 1 2 3 dots, 1 2 3 dots. Get to the. I was even thinking that because Apex only requires you to run $50 per day, I should be running 50 a day, rotate the account, 50 a day, rotate the account, and just get there through the whole thing. No, Tony, it's coded, so it has to be the same strategy. Well, you're not wrong in a sense that there is no one strategy. There's like 100 different variations that that Claude and I created inside of it. So you're not wrong in a sense that there's lots of variety, but there is a core theology behind it that does make sense. All right, no more trades so far. We're kind of slowing down a little bit. I'm trying to see if there's anything. Markets are just kind of very doomsday. So, you see this tweet over here? I really hate people like this. And having spent my misspent youth in the restaurant business, I will just tell you, my friends, you don't want to piss off the service staff. It's a guaranteed path to a major food infection. There are so many nasty little tricks that service staff could do to you without you even realizing it. And you're going to be vilely sick for being a complete asshole and not tipping people properly. All right. No, the $50 a day is because Apex has like this rule where in order to meet consistency, you have to have doesn't have to be 5 consecutive days, but 5 days of $50 or at least $50 or more winning per account, right? I mean, there's like they have all these very, very controlled rules. Oh shit, I missed it. Sorry, I was trolling through Twitter. We could have had this short over here too. Would have been nice. As you can see, there's no shortage of kind of really good trades when we are doing this. Yeah, I agree. Now I just, I hate snotty people. Like this whole attitude of like this lady's like, oh, we're going out for lobster. Why should we pay more money than people who are eating burger? You choose the fucking lobster on the menu. You have the money to pay for lobster. You should pay for service. Okay. There's no over trading rules. No, there's no true rules for that. But but this is actually like all very like within the structure of how Apex runs the whole thing. This is all very good because we're obviously staying well within the rules of all the stuff. But more importantly, I was actually going to look at this, guys. I did look. I just want to show this to you. I think I'm correct on this, right? Ben, tell me if I'm correct on this. So this is distance to auto liquidation, distance to drawdown, right? Because I'm trading at maximum exit. Like what you see, I think I'm correct on this. I don't think I'm basically trading. I basically preserve like all my drawdown buffer. This is the $1,000 drawdown, and I have $924 of buffer. Like I'm really, really from a trailing drawdown point of view, I'm just staying way ahead of the game by doing this, which is kind of really good. Because that all of our rules are within their stuff. You have to have at least 150 a day out of 150 days. $150 a day. Wait, sorry. How many? 5? Oh, at least one $150 a day out of for legacy. But for new ones, it's 550s. Is that correct? You know the rules a lot better than I do, Ben, since I'm never paying any attention to them. Is that correct, Ben? We need for new accounts, we need 5 days of 50. For old accounts, we need at least 1 day of 150, but which of course, I think I'm almost certain I've met in all of those things. But it's all like, given the way we trade, it's all within our grasp. $250 days on a rolling month. Okay. All right, back underneath the 500, we have the point of control trade, which is, I think I'm going to rotate myself out into the 58 account. Now we're going to make the 58 account now the buy account, and we're going to see if we can try and trade the 58 account up, because we traded the 65 account to plus 100 for where I need it to be. So let's do this one. This is going to be my last last run. So I'm going to try and run the 58 account here. White dot, $4.03, 2 1. Boom. Oops. I wanted now I wanted to time it so it wouldn't retrace. Of course, it retraces right up my ass. So we'll see. It might come right back down. That's fine. Contra trend trade. Obviously, the weakest signal may get clipped on this. But I really like the whole idea of like, hey, I'm okay because I'm 1x, 2x. I can make this back very quickly. As you saw, I made the other one back really, really quickly. And now I get this sell signal, which I'm going to trade the 56 account on the sell side. So we'll trade the 58 on the buy side, 56 on the sell side, if signals appear intra setup, which sometimes they do. And if they don't, they don't. The cool thing about all of this is, even if you're losing, you're bleeding very small, and then when you're recovering a little bit faster. And then if you're on the other side of it, you're obviously, if you're bleeding on one, you're going to be positive on the other. So one or two of these things always are marching forward, and as long as some of the pack marches forward every single day, you're getting closer and closer to your target, right? Yeah, astrologer says that on some of the accounts, he's barely below the $2,500 drawdown because we're always exiting at the highs. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta. Speaking of, like, I gotta. Next week, hopefully Rob will have the wealth charts ready. But even if he doesn't, we're gonna trade my wealth charts because they've been dormant for about a week and a half, and I really want to. I may even trade them off screen today, just to get some activity into those accounts. I'm not using defaults again, Chris. Use the numbers that I put in the ORB webpage that explains the basic rules. You have to, if you're doing futures, you have to set them against Chicago for futures, for stock index futures, and against New York for gold. If you're doing CFDs, then it's a completely different story. Then you should just simply do whatever your CFD provider does. It needs to be 9:30 to 10 o'clock New York time, which is 8:30 to 9 o'clock Chicago time, right? That's the New York session ORB range that we're measuring. The first half hour of New York, the first hour of Asia. So we've got a sell signal here, 25 seconds. We're on the 56 account, right? I'm going to go to the 56 account here on the sell side. Let's see if it holds. Nope, no signal. Okay. But you see, having two accounts, you can juxtapose your trades if need be. It's a cool metric. I just realized something that inherently will tell us angularity, which is, slopiness or trendiness, whatever you want to think about it. This is a really interesting idea. It's kind of an inferential metric that is very, very good. So dots per period. So let's say amount of dots per X minutes, because the very nature, like the higher that number, by its very nature, is going to show you that we're in trendiness. Like, that's actually probably the single best, cleanest measure of trendiness we could do. I'm now playing around. Tony is going to laugh because it means, I'm going to recode the indicator. But that's we can recode that into this little function here as a metric. You know what I'm saying, guys? So if you think about this, there is like 5 dots per 10 minutes worth of trade. And that is a very, very, it's a relatively trendy slice, right? Whereas there's only 2 dots per 10 minutes worth of trades because we are totally flat, right? The very nature of dots means that we have some angularity. That's an interesting, easy way for the algo to calculate that it makes sense. All right, we stopped out on the long, which has been, clearly dying on the vine. Now we got the short signal over here, and I'm going to try and trade the short side. $28 seconds left. Let's see if the short signal holds. Fresh session lows, by the way, almost here. Let's see. They're really pressing it down. All right. Short here. Let's see if we go. Thanks, Chris. See you tomorrow. Well, I just realized you guys don't see the the whole thing. It's a little bit outside of the thing, right? You guys, oh, there it is. Okay, now you start seeing it. Okay. Yeah, we were like within 5 points of target, and now we're kind of retracing. So we're sort of very, very choppy. But one of the interesting things that you see is like this is, let's say, a what is it, 1022 to 1040. It's like a 20-minute segment, and there was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 dots, right? 4 dots in this 20-minute segment. Whereas in this particular segment, 1011 to, let's say this is a 15-minute segment, right? And there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dots. And then you have something like this where you have lots of angularity. So you like this, 9:45 to 9:55. Let's just even like 13 minute segment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's like 8 dots. Basically, like think of the ratio. If there is over a 10-minute segment, there is 1 dot per minute. That's super super trendy. If there's like over a 10-minute segment, 1 dot per per every 2 minutes, it's a little bit less. And then if it's like only one dot per 10 minutes, then it's really, really choppy. It's kind of interesting. I got to figure out how we can normalize those values. But that's a really, really interesting insight into, like, where is the markets? Like, how is the markets really acting? It's not going to give you a forecast, but it's kind of a concurrent indicator that tells you, where the price action really is. See, like the more minutes go by without any kind of dots, the more you see that there is very little trendiness in it, right? In this particular segment. Like, how many dots per last 10 minutes is the question I want to ask. And if the answer is, let's say, less than 5, then it's not really a good looking thing. All right, guys. I actually do got to go now. I have the meeting, so I think this short hopefully is going to resolve itself. It looks like it's finally moving in our direction. I'll see everybody on Monday. Hope you guys had a really good session. This is really a lot of fun. I really like the 1, 2, not quite the 1, 2, 3 scaling. Certainly, the results have been very, very positive all across the accounts with very controlled risk. That's the most important part. Really controlled risk. So let's keep working. And we'll keep improving our techniques. I'll see everybody tomorrow for the ORBs. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me today. Hope you guys had a great day. And I'll see everybody Saturday, and then obviously I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care.